All right. Excuse the quality of this footage, but I just felt the need or the desire to do this while I was going to meet up with a mate and share my challenges with him, and possibly he will with me. But it's more about me on this occasion, though. But that could go either way, and I'm good with that. So, I listen to a lot of TikTokers and Instagrammers, social media influencers and content creators and whatnot, and whatever. A lot of it humours me, to be honest. But then that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for things that interest me, like people, places, food, events, the lighter look at the more difficult side of life and all of the trials and tribulations and adversities that we're facing daily in society and community. So I'm, just looking to escape usually, and becoming a bit of a content creator, not so much a social influencer, but I'm growing it. I started about 5 or 6 years ago and gave it up, and I'm back on it again after dealing with some of life's hurdles that just get thrown at you like lemons. But I had a hard time using those lemons to make champagne. Yeah, you with me? So anyway, I follow quite a few people, and some of them for a little while, and then I just switched them off because they just bang on about the same stuff. If you look at my TikTok or Instagram or any the other platforms that I use, I have a podcast as well, and you'll see just random stuff. Some of it's absolutely ridiculous, some of it's informative, some of it's like, oh, okay, oh, I didn't know that, or I wasn't aware of that. But you'll never see me getting on there banging on about the same pessimistic, negative, dividing content, topics, narratives, right? And I'm not going to pinpoint any particular individual in this bit of footage, but I'm just going to put that out there, right? So, let's just all get along, help each other where we can, do the best that you can do for yourself, because if you can't help yourself, you can't really help others. I mean, I'm a long way from like being the perfect person, and there is no such thing. I guess it's just trying to find a balance. But for me, I'm listening to this guy who continuously posts stuff about his life in the Philippines, and he's not the only one that pops up that I look at. I wouldn't say follow, but if their stuff pops up, I'll have a look at it, and if it's of interest to me, then I might leave a comment about something, trying not to be too much of a prat, but or I might like it or share it, whatever. But there's one particular bloke, and it looks like I'm losing my visual here quite badly, actually. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe someone's trying to call me or send a message or something, but I can't really see because I haven't got my glasses on. But yeah, look, it's the sun. It's the bloody, it's the weather. Anyway, it's coming through the windscreen. I need to put a little top or something on there. Anyway, so I'll take the glasses back off. So there's this one bloke, and he's like, oh, I've been living in the Philippines for, 3.5 years, and a lot of the stuff that he shares is accurate and informative, and I enjoy. But sometimes when they're not being accurate, and then when you like call it out, or try and tap into it and expand on that topic, that subject, with some facts, and then they go, oh, because you love Angeles. Yeah, I love Angeles City, I love Mabalacat City, I love Friendship, I love Clark, I also love Baguio, Cebu, you know, Zambales. I've been to a lot of different places there and enjoyed it, but I also immersed myself right into the culture, like on every possible level, without coming off as a wannabe, you know. But like my wife does say that I'm a foreigner, you know, I'm really you know, a Filipino inside a foreigner's body. But anyway, yeah, God love her. I love my wife and her family on the father's side and the mother's side, and they're big families. They're great people. But yeah, people just banging on with their point of view, their POV, that isn't always accurate, or they haven't done enough research, particularly when they're speaking words. And it's like, I've got a truck in front of me that's just like doing 20 kilometres an hour, no blinkers on, nothing like happening, just trickling along, and I'm going to get stuck behind him and be late for my appointment. Anyway, yeah, so people going, oh, sige, it's oh, sige, and, you know, Tagalog, it's Tagalog, you know. And there's many Filipinos that speak English very well, and their comprehension is also great. They're just a bit shy because they think foreigners aren't gonna rate their English and their comprehension, and so they're shy, right? Yeah, the further you get out into the provinces and the more isolated, you know, communities and that there, they do speak less English and more their mother tongue, and some of them aren't even speaking Tagalog. But like, you know, my wife speaks four or five languages fluently. I can't even speak two. I can't even speak English. I've been told that I've murdered the English language, you know. So people that are, you know, dissing others who actually can speak two languages, that's just doesn't sit well with me, right? But and then like I've got a nephew and a niece. When I first met them a couple of years ago, they didn't even speak their own language. They didn't even speak Tagalog or Kapampangan. They spoke English. That's it. And they were having a hard time at school because they couldn't, like, they didn't speak Tagalog or Kapampangan. And they learnt that from watching YouTube, and they speak American English. Their pronunciation, the accent, it's American because of the American influence there. Because, you know, Americans kicked out the Spanish and then they took over. And, you know, so I'm not going to badmouth what either of those two countries did, because the country I come from has its own issues with the colonisers, you know, so, and ongoing. So I'm not going to badmouth them on that. But like, if you're going to, you know, give a point of view, at least get some of the facts, you know, a little bit more accurate, dig a little bit deeper, because the Filipinos are one of the top 3 English-speaking nations in Asia, and most sought after by multinationals and foreign companies that set up businesses there, you know, because of their English and their comprehension. And the city where my wife comes from has kind of exploded in the last 15 to 20 years due to that one significant fact about multinationals and foreign companies and small business setting up there. I deal with them daily. Even one of the companies that I work for, their HR's from there. Their HR's set up in Angeles. Another company I do a couple of gigs for a year, their HR's set up there. So, you know, and I know others, many others. And yeah, even like when you call a bank from Australia, you're a service provider like Optus or Telstra or some of them, you're either going to get Philippines, Manila, Angeles, or India. And out of those two, my choice is the Philippines, because they're better to deal with. They've got a better you know, attitude and demeanour, and yeah, so that's from my experiences. And that's, you know, over a long period of time I've been dealing with people on there. I've had many difficulties dealing with Indian call centres, But in the Philippines, and this is even before I started going to the Philippines back in 2015, I was still, there's call centres and that set up there that I was dealing with, weekly for something, whether it was a bank or a service provider or something, insurance or something. Yeah, all good though. But like, expect to get more of this type of content from me as well. Like, just giving you some more insight and some more like accuracies based on personal experiences, and those experiences of friends of mine that have been living there and coming and going from there for 30 or 40 years that are in front of me, and they're part of the reason why I ventured there to look for, like, a better life outside of my own country. I love the Philippines. I'm not biased though either. I'm just saying it as it's happened to me, and the stories that have been shared to me, like by family that I'm very, very close with. And all good though. Until next time, you bunch of derricks, thanks for your listening ears, and leave some comments, whatever. If it's abuse, if you think I'm rage baiting or whatever too. But if you want to hurl abuse at me, I'll take whatever, because it's all engagement and interactions, and I won't be offended, but I'll share my thoughts back with you if I think it's worthy. But let's keep the abuse to a minimum. But that's all good though with me. I've got broad shoulders and thick skin. I've been through a lot, and I'm trying to enjoy my life more. And I'm very soon I'll be enjoying more of it in the Philippines with my wife and her family. And all good, okay? Peace out.